So here's something for you. USB-C cables are not created equal. I know that everybody's happy that Apple went from Lightning to USB-C, but I can kind of understand why it took Apple so long to do so. Because USB-C cables is one of those product categories where you do not get what you pay for. I'll explain in a bit. So we're gonna go through my top 5, and if you don't like those top 5, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna look for when buying a USB-C cable, because again, most of this you shouldn't buy. Now I've tested 20 different cables against price, USB-C type, build quality, charge speeds, data transfer speeds, cable length, and like any other sort of extras, like if they gave you a magnet. All right, number 5 is the Anker Powerline 3. I'd consider this to be the baseline USB-C cable for anybody running a iPhone 15, not Pro, but the ones that look like some sort of mint chocolate. Honestly, if I was a reviewer, I'd just buy 6 of these and just be done with it in terms of charging cables for my iPhones. Now this is a good charging cable at a good price. There's actually only one other product in this top 5 that's cheaper than this product, and it's number 1. The head is covered in hard plastic, and the charge head is one solid piece, it's not crimped, and the coating on the wire is just rubber, plastic. From a charging perspective, with the iPhone 15s, it charged at about 0.5% faster on average, which isn't much. And for data transfer speeds, this thing is only USB 2. In my 5.5 gigabyte speed test, it would take on average about 2 minutes to do that file transfer, and with the 38 gigabyte file folder, it would take about 13.5 minutes. Those are actually really good numbers for a USB 2 cable, but not for USB 3. All right, number 4 goes to this Amazon brand called Cable Matters. Standout feature for this product is the data transfer speeds. On average, it took 6 seconds to transfer the 5.5 gigabyte file and about 129 seconds for the 38 gigabyte file folder. So yeah, the time it took for the Cable Matters to transfer the 38 gigabyte file was about the same amount of time as it took for the Anker one to do 5.5 gigabytes. Now this is a very basic cable. There's nothing really special about it. The finish on the cable is a little too tacky for my liking. The head is encased metal, not crimped, but I do want to point out the shape of the cable head. It's flared towards the bottom, so when you plug it into a device, you've got like this little piece that you could pull on, just making this cable easier to use. The one thing that knocks it down is price. It's nothing special. It's actually kind of expensive. So that's number 4. Let's talk about number 3. I don't have the bag for this one, but this is a fast gear cable. When it comes to data transfer speeds, this did the 5.5 gigabyte test in 6 seconds, as well as the 38 gigabyte file folder at 141 seconds. So it's a little slower than the Cable Matters, but not by much. The cable head is about 50% metal, 50% plastic. Head is solid, it's not crimped. And the cable is braided so that it doesn't catch on itself, which is the primary benefit of braided cables from my perspective. Yes, it will last a little bit longer, but like they just unfurl so very, very well. Unlike one of Apple's cables. One thing to note is that there's these little like bumps on the cable head, so when you plug it into your device and you're pulling it out, you've got a little bit more friction for you to pull on the head. Last thing I'll mention, it comes with a Velcro zip tie. It's the small things that matter, right? Number 2 is this one. I'll be honest with you, I get a ton of stuff from Amazon Essentials and Amazon Basics. These pants are from Amazon. This USB-C cable is double braided. What does that even mean? Now my observations of this double braided cable is that the finish on the braid is much finer on the Amazon one, which is this braid cable. And it is one cable that just unfurls almost straight. Like that is just incredible to me. Like it doesn't catch on itself, it's just a very flexible cable. If you want to future-proof your iPhone cables, just buy a bunch of these and you'll be good for several years. Now this cable features a massive metallic head. The actual connector is a solid piece of metal, not crimped. Comes with a little dinky zip tie. When it comes to data transfer, this cable is actually a little slower. It took about 12 minutes to do the 5 gigabyte test and 224 seconds to do the 38 gigabyte file folder. So for whatever reason, even with the last 3 cables that are USB 3, the data transfer speeds are all different. Why? Now I realized while filming this video, I forgot to mention the charge speeds, which they're all the same for the last 3 cables, so. Now the one thing I do not like about this cable is that it doesn't have anything to help you pull it out. So if you've got a USB-C connection that's a little stiffer, you actually might be pulling on the entire computer or device rather than pulling the cable out of the device. Now, if you're wondering where Apple's cables rank, the 240 watt cable is 15 out of 21. The 60 watt cable, the one that comes with the iPhone 15, is number 18. So don't go wasting your money on these Apple cables. All right, the best cable to get in this video is this one. It's odd for me to say a Mophie product retains the top spot in the top 5 list, because they generally don't make great products. There's a part of me that actually thinks somebody at Mophie made a mistake in pricing this, because it's a USB 3 cable priced at a USB 2 price. For data transfer speed for the 5.5 gigabyte test, it was on average 6 seconds like all the other cables. And with the 38 gigabyte file folder, it was 218 seconds. So again, the Mophie product is actually closer to this instead of the USB 3 cables from Cable Matters and Fastgear, so more differences. The cable head's one of the smaller ones. It's a metal head, and this part is not crimped. The head is smooth, so it takes a bit of finger strength to pull on it. Now, one of the weird things about this product is that it is braided as well, but it retains its coil. I don't like this. You can easily just straighten it, kind of, but it doesn't have the same like loosey-goosiness of this Amazon product. So the crazy thing about this product is that it's almost half the price of the Amazon Basics one. So yeah, you get the Mophie one before they bump up the price. All right, let's go back to the thing about, you know, you get what you pay for. The average cost for the cable in my test group was about 20 bucks. Cables from Chubby Cable as well as Nomad and Native Union, these things were like $30. This Nomad cable's like got Kevlar on it. This Native Union cable has got some weird finish on it. But all three of these cables are USB 2.0 cables and their data transfer speeds are very slow. Every single USB 3 cable in my top 5 list was about 30% cheaper than these premium cables. And honestly, like the build quality between an Amazon Basics cable and this Nomad one, they looked almost identical to me. Which leads me to the one thing you need to pay attention to when you're buying a USB-C cable. It's the version, USB 2 or USB 3. Get USB 3. You might be thinking, why don't I just go with USB 2? You go with USB 3 to future-proof your cable usage. So if you're buying a cable, make sure you pay attention to the product description, because a lot of these cables do not have it on the box. There's nothing on this packaging that tells me it's USB 2. Even the recommended product doesn't say it's USB 3. The only way I've been able to figure that out is using this nifty tool from Caber QU. It tests all the pins for you. This is what the circuit board looks like for a USB 2 cable. This is what it looks like for a USB 3 cable. So that's all I got for this video. Try to make it as painless as possible because it's a video about cables. Anyways, leave your comments down there. If there's a product you want me to kind of check out, just let me know and I'll see if I can get one and throw it into the mix. First time watching my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every single time Monty almost falls out of his chair, or did fall out of his chair, you get notified.